First of all, we talk about our marketing, our retention, and our management. I think for the first point, if you're going to get left behind if your marketing is far too manual.
Using automation, using AI to improve marketing and take it from manual to very efficient and very streamlined.
If you were to identify right now, put yourself there right now. What is the one thing? What's the one big thing that would change the entire game in your practice this year?
If you want to unlock your business's potential in 2025, then here are 3 game-changing strategies you cannot afford to miss. Hey guys, Tristan Bond here, CEO of Practice Acceleration, and today we're talking about 3 game-changing strategies you cannot afford to miss if you wish to unlock your and your practice's potential in 2025. I am joined by the magnificent, the clever, the handsome, the courageous, and the kind.
Hey,
David McDonald.
Wow, it's 2025. Can you believe it? It's a new year. And I've got so many more titles to my name.
I know. Every year we add another title.
That's it. Amazing.
That?
So good. Anyway, love today. Unlock your potential in 2025.
Absolutely.
And it's so important because we have been obsessing on what it's going to take in order to really crush this year.
Yeah.
Can't wait for this episode.
Me too. And what we've done today, we've dialed this down into 3 game-changing strategies. We had 5, and then we used our own 80-20 principle, and we've brought it down to 3 game-changing strategies, and we've focused on 1 strategy per area of our genius model.
Yes.
So inside our genius model, it's, how do we approach our marketing? How do we approach our attention? How do we approach the scalability of a business? And what I've done today and what you've done is we're going to focus on 1 game-changing strategy for each of those 3 spheres so that you guys can make the most amount of impact and really get ahead in 2025. I'm going to go as far as to say this isn't even about unlocking potential so much. It's about not getting left behind.
Yes. Staying ahead of the curve.
The world is changing so fast. Like 2024 was crazy. All the advancements that came out inside AI, for example, all the different changes inside automation and the expectations that are upon us as business owners. So today we're going to be diving into it. So why is this so important, Dave? What's going to happen if we don't embrace these changes in 2025? What's the potential downside? Like, what's going to actually happen?
Well, some of the problems and stuff that people are going to come across. Yeah, well, first of all, we talk about our marketing, our retention, and our management. Well, I think for the first point, if you're going to get left behind if your marketing is far too manual, it's far too energy sucking,
yes,
and so forth. Today's day and age, marketing can be done with ease. It can be done effectively. It can be done efficiently. It can be done swiftly.
Yeah,
is another way of putting it.
Hands off.
Yeah. In other words, there's a lot that can be done in a short space of time. So here's what I want to say is about marketing it's about being productive. It's not about being busy. There's a huge difference between the two. And right now,
so being effective.
Yeah. And right now, if you get left behind, your marketing is going to be outdated.
Yes.
Because you took too long to get there. So when you actually land on the actual message, it's no longer relevant.
Yes.
It's so last year, so 2024, when you want it to be right now, 2025. So marketing is too manual. It can be too outdated. It's too slow. In fact, what you want it to be is the other way around. When you want it to be effective, efficient, swift, but being productive and fast. Hands off, like you said.
Exactly.
And we want to talk about that. So that's problem number 1 is marketing's far too hard work.
The second problem we want to solve for you guys in 2025, and we know that you'll get left behind if this continues to be an issue, is that the training of your team is too dependent upon you. And that doesn't need to be the case anymore. Like if you're the one that's doing all the training of each process inside your business, you're training each person individually, then that creates an enormous time dependency and also human dependency upon you, which is going to take you away from growing your practice, whilst your competition are really streaming ahead.
Yes.
So what is possible for you guys when you unlock the tools we're going to talk about today is that instead of team training being dependent upon you, it's going to be dependent upon resources.
No.
And we're going to show you how. And the third shift that you really need to make inside 2025 is, for those of you that don't embrace the shifts that are available, is that the day-to-day operations of your business have still continued to be dependent upon you. You're going to be needed to be there to answer questions. The systems will be inside your head. If you're not there, the business comes to a screaming halt. And that may have worked back in the old days, in 2024, it's not going to work inside 2025. Instead, you need a streamlined business that runs like clockwork, even when you are not there. And that's why this is so important. So today is about how do we speed up marketing to make sure that that's involving less of you, it's less manual, it's more automated.
Yeah.
It's about how do we make sure that, you know, our team are on fire no matter how much time you have. And it's about making sure that operations flows beautifully, regardless if you are there or not. So let's jump into point number one. What is the first share we've got today to speed up the marketing? What are some things that our audience can do?
Point number one, in order to speed up your marketing, is about embracing two things. It's about embracing AI and automation in your marketing, particularly to your messaging, your content creation, but also to your sequences and communication follow-up with your patients.
Yes. So specifically, we're talking about, I mean, there's a couple of things there. You talked about marketing and also communication with patients, right? So we think about marketing, let's say on Instagram or on Facebook, and utilizing that follow-up. Now, if someone's opting into your funnel, and we teach a lot of funnels for our clients, like we're doing a lot of advanced marketing to have our audience stay ahead. And if you're not on that, please reach out, because you must be on that in 2025 if you wish to stay relevant, right? So if we're talking about someone's opted into a funnel, then previously, like it could go days before you've reached out to them via a phone call or a text, or perhaps you're not using automated email. I'm going to make the assumption that most of you guys are doing automated email follow-up to an opt-in. But where you need to be headed in 2025 is we're going to be using automation on other things such as, say, Instagram.
Yes.
Like we're running, and we're teaching this strategy actually tomorrow, is towards some of our clients that are flying in here to Adelaide to hang out with us, is when we're running our reels on Instagram, is we're using AI. So when someone comments back underneath, we can actually start the chat flow using AI. Whereas previously, it would require someone from our team to log in, have a look. Hey, has anyone replied? Do that multiple times a day. Now, we have that goes off automatically at the right timing sequence that we've predetermined. And we can actually do the first number of chats there without a person having to get involved.
Yeah.
So we're utilizing technology, we're utilizing AI, we're utilizing automation to go faster. We're also using AI to use personalization of that.
Absolutely.
And we're constantly evolving. So
prompts as well, and prompts as well. But nice. Prompts as well that, you know, you said before that not even knowing the leads were there.
Yeah.
So it's even a prompt that, hey, in this platform, which we're talking about Instagram and especially specifically Reels, but there's so many other different platforms and other different pathways. That's right. It's about when a conversation or when someone raises their hand, it's having the prompt to say, yep, lead over here, we're interested.
Yes.
And then AI taking care of it. But then also when there is time for a human, for example, to take over, the human is prompted and also is leveraged, and therefore with ease is able to then continue that conversation.
Exactly. And it solves a lot of problems too. Like, so for those of you that are wanting to expand upon your marketing and go a lot deeper, the default in the past has been, who do I hire for that?
Yes.
Whereas now it's, what technology can you use for that to free up the who that's doing the marketing inside your team? How do we go faster? How do we be more effective? Like, it's not enough to be on Instagram and Facebook. You've really got to be smart about it. You're going to be effective. You're going to be streamlined. We're going to make sure that people that are connecting with you, people that are reaching out to you, you've got to reach back out to them very, very quickly.
Yeah, because time is money.
Absolutely. And if you're not reaching back out to them, if they're showing interest in your content, if you're in dentistry, for example, and they're clicking on your reel to do with teeth whitening, you're not getting back to them within 2 to 3 minutes. They are on to the next thing. His chances are they're engaging with that content right now because it's a now thing for them.
Yes.
If you're not getting back to them, someone else, one of our clients, is going to pick them up as a potential client. And we want all of you to be utilizing the benefits of technology to make sure you bring in the right people. So that's the first thing, is using automation, using AI to improve marketing and take it from manual to very efficient and very streamlined. The second problem that we want you guys to approach in 2025 to solve is decreasing the dependency of training upon you.
Yes.
So how are our members doing that in
Yes.
2020?
So what we've been coaching and mentoring is how it is now, or what it is before they come to us, is that whenever they bring on a new recruit and they're trying to leverage that talent and they're trying to build that person up, is that person's growth is heavily dependent on the physical time you set aside. And then there's a lot of issues with that, such as, well, how do you as a trainer show up that day, what energy you're bringing. So, for example,
A lot of variables.
if you book in a meeting with me Monday morning and say, Dave, I'm going to train you on X, Y, Z. Well, I turn up on Monday at 9 o'clock in the morning. But then if you are grumpy or you're not necessarily in the right mood, then therefore that training can be I'm
way less effective.
That's right, because I'm at the mercy of how you're going to show up and what we're going to do in that time. Plus, if you then spend an hour with me, which might be a great session, it's therefore, well, how much energy have you just expended?
Yeah,
Especially if I'm not...
especially if I allocated 30 minutes, for example.
Yeah.
Now you're over. All these variables.
Yeah. So on the other side of that, what we've been teaching a lot of our clients is, look, first of all, they really follow this principle, which is any stress, frustration, fear, deficiency of performance can usually trace back to a lack of an asset.
Oh, I like that.
So therefore, our members look and go, oh, well, what assets am I missing right now that's causing me to feel a certain way or to have run into a particular constraint? So when it comes to training and development, any frustration, stress point, lack of deficiency or deficiency of performance comes back to a lack of an asset. And that asset is, does your team have access to you 24 hours, 7 days a week without the physical manual label and touch point? So what we've been able to get them to do is teach a resource page. And there's a variety of ways in which you can do that. Google Docs, Google Sheets, Loom videos, Google Sites, whatever, Dropbox, Vimeo, whatever it may be. But there's lots of different opportunities out there for you. But it's about you providing a library of resources that your team can access to you on demand at any time, that lives in the cloud. Therefore, it's a bit like taking the medicine. If you've recorded a role play, or if you've got a walkthrough training showcasing the mentality and the mechanics behind someone, can that team member access that at any time? And it's essentially take the medicine.
Yeah.
Which is, if they need to improve on it, it's like, go and take your medicine 3 times a day. And, for the next 3 days, which is go and rewatch this over and over again, go and have access to this.
Yes.
So they've got to think about training resources and what modalities. What can they hear? What can they see? What can they experience? What can they go through? So it's having all those considerations, and our members, we've given them an absolute blueprint on how to go from not having this to having a plethora of these, which allows them to make the business or training never dependent on them. But it's also really good for when they bring someone on board and how quickly they can get them up to speed.
Exactly. Speed to outcome, right?
Yes.
And so we do it with our clients. Like, you join our program at Practice Acceleration, and all the content we've got for you, we have in that portal, so you guys can access it. So you can take your medicine anytime that you like. Yeah. And now we've gone to the next level again of showing our clients how to create portals like that for their own team, so you can onboard quickly, you can go through troubleshooting, you can train literally anything which requires a conversation.
Yep.
But you can make it better, because like you said, it's like, how do you show up and have the perfect conversation every single time?
Yes.
Well, the thing is, we're humans.
Yeah.
And so you cannot. It's just, you can't. But you can create the perfect resource once, and then it's there. Like what to do, how to do it, and so on. Or the video training, what to say, exactly the right mannerisms, then the SOP behind it. That's what you guys need to do in 2025 to leverage yourself, so that you can get your genius out there into this portal, so your team can learn without being dependent upon you. So that's point number 2. So first point was, number 1, how do we use automation and AI to improve our marketing, go from manual to more effective, more efficient, more automated.
Yes.
Number 2 is, how do we take team training to be dependent upon you to being dependent upon your intellectual property?
Yes.
To being dependent upon your information, your resources, your portal. And point number 3 is this: because you are now having point number 1 and point number 2,
yes,
we are only then able to do number 3, which is focus on your 20%. Pareto's principle.
Yes.
Focus on doing less, but doing it better.
Even think about, if you could imagine and fast forward yourself now, we're at the beginning of 2025. If you were to fast forward to the end of 2025 and you were to reflect back on the 12 months that have passed, and you were going to celebrate all that's been achieved and reflect on all that's done, if you were to identify right now, put yourself there right now, what is the one thing, what's the one big thing that would change the entire game in your practice this year? And that is probably going to be like your 20%.
Yeah.
You know?
And you just do that.
You just do that.
You just do that. Less is more.
Less is better.
Less is way better.
Yeah.
Less is way better. Like you say often, smooth, slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Yes.
But we can only use and embrace that mindset when we actually look after points number 1 and points number 2. But when you do that, then you can focus on your 20%.
Yeah.
So that's how you guys are going to pull ahead inside 2025. And your 20% it's about the vision. It's about leadership. It's not about doing a million different things. You got to get rid of that badge of honor. You aren't the captain that has to run around putting out every single fire and on site. You don't have to be juggling all these balls. There's no badge of honor that's associated with that any longer. In fact, you need to be leading the vision and leading your people, leading your who's so they can do the how and utilize the technology so that they can be more efficient and effective themselves and step into their genius space too.
And that one big thing will be very instinctful for those that are listening. You'll go, I don't know what it is, and I've got to do this, this, and this. It's like, no, just take a moment to reflect. You'll know what it is instinctively.
Yeah.
You know, that one thing.
You just know it deep down.
And where attention goes, energy flows, results show, which means if I just put my attention into this one area and I, do all the other points that we spoke about today, then I'm going to be able to put more energy into that. And another thing that I know a lot of our, if you are doing too much and therefore it's about doing less.
Yeah.
Therefore you probably have to get involved with some of the things that we teach, which is we teach our clients, especially in the first 90 days.
How do we free up 8 hours a week?
How do we free up a minimum of 8 hours so that you can refocus on what you should actually be doing? And a lot of it is a lot of stop doing this, stop doing this, stop doing that, stop doing this, so that what you are doing is efficient, effective, purpose, resourceful, and energizing.
Yes,
I always say as well.
Absolutely. So good is that.
If you do the right things and put your focus in the right area, 2025 is going to be a really fruitful year.
And that's our commitment to our members is how do we're freeing up that day a week inside the first 90 days. And we also want them to free up like half their clinical hours to focus on their genius space, to be the visionary, to live a bigger life so the teams can live bigger lives, and everything they touch is very impactful in the right, deliberate way. So 2025, guys, get on board with these strategies, or quite frankly, you're going to be left behind.
Yeah.
Right. So number one, make sure you utilize marketing automation tools. Make sure you use marketing AI. Make sure that you create training resources for your team to leverage your time, and make sure you look after yourself by focusing on your 20%. And if you guys want any help with it, please reach out to us. We'd be delighted to have a chat to see if we may be able to assist you with that. Make sure you reach out. We'll have a chat. We'll assess your practice in the 3 areas, your marketing, your retention, the scalability, and we'll look for what is the potential constraint that you have right now, where if we put some attention there, all of a sudden everything will be a whole lot different. Guys, thank you for listening. Excited for all the episodes we've got to come in 2025.
Yeah.
It's going to be a monster of a year.
Big year.
Make sure that you click like, make sure that you share this, and please send this to someone else who has a practice that you feel would benefit from hearing this message as well. So thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now. Ciao, ciao. Arrivederci.